Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Cool, Calm, Connected podcast, a quarterback's guide to life and peak performance, where we learn how to become the best version of ourselves together. I'm your host, James Brady, and you're listening to episode 7, Calm in Chaos. As always, I'd like to begin the episode by taking a moment to connect to our breath, help us be a little bit more present, a little bit more focused, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more here, now, in the present moment. So if you'll join me, getting your feet flat on the ground, allow our hands to rest in our laps. Let's pull our shoulders down and back, spine straight. It'll be 3 breaths, a deep breath into the nose with a smooth exhale through the mouth. Into the nose, out through the mouth. Into the nose, out through the mouth. Last one, into the nose, out through the mouth. Nice work. Next, in every episode, we like to take a moment to express gratitude, not only to recognize and appreciate all the good that is happening in our lives, but to put ourselves in the energetic state to create and attract more of what it is we want to experience. So a simple mantra, it'll be thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so, so grateful. I am so, so, so appreciative. If you repeat after me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so, so grateful. I am so, so, so appreciative. I suggest we find some point in the day. I do it when I'm brushing my teeth, just to tap into gratitude to begin our day. Now, super excited about this episode because it's the first one that is being created by request. Earlier last week on Instagram, on my stories, I just put up a simple question. Is there any topics that anybody would really like to hear discussed on the podcast? Bunch of great answers, but the first one, and in my opinion, the one I got the most excited about and that's most aligned with everything we're doing here, was by my man Zach. Zach, if you're listening, you know who you are. I'm going to send this to you personally. Hope you do listen to it. Zach said he wanted to learn about how to stay calm under pressure and in stressful situations. I read that and I couldn't help but to get super excited because this is what this is all about. This project, the podcast, the course that's coming, everything about it, cool, calm, connected. That original phrase, cool, calm, collected, is about being poised, confident, centered, relaxed, calm under pressure and in stressful situations. Not just under pressure and in stressful situations, but in every walk of our everyday lives, becoming a cool, calm, and connected person. So this topic in particular really just kind of embodies, encompasses everything that we're discussing here on the podcast and in the coursework, just the entire project. This is the whole purpose of it, is how to become a calm, centered, relaxed individual so that when the stakes are higher and there's high pressure and it might seem stressful, we've done the work and we've practiced remaining calm, coming from a centered place where we're calm and relaxed, where we can make our best decisions and put forth our best effort. So I'd like to start the episode with a pretty cool analogy, and it's that of the eye of the hurricane. Now, if you don't know anything about the eye of the hurricane, a hurricane in particular, right? It's like a cyclone. It's a tropical storm that's operating in a big spiral. A lot of other cool connections in terms of throwing motion and energy and stuff. But what's very interesting about the eye of the hurricane, the absolute center of it, there's absolute chaos in this storm going around and around and around. But at the center, it's calm. The weather is relatively calm. There's not much happening at the center. And this is kind of how we want to train ourselves to be, right? And I just learned recently as well, kind of some of the science behind how a hurricane or a cyclone is formed, is that at the center where the weather is most calm, it's also where the least amount of surface pressure is found. There's no pressure, and it is calm. And it's going to kind of tie into everything that we're talking about today. How do we remain calm under pressure, right? Some of the things we're going to share is our perception of pressure, really, in my opinion, quite frankly, just eliminating pressure, just controlling what we can control so it doesn't actually even exist, but so that no matter what is happening around us, especially when it is chaotic and hectic, we remain cool, calm, and collected, centered, poised, and relaxed, unfazed, so we can show up as our best self, put our best foot forward, and do our best to create the results that we desire in the end. So it's my opinion that many people believe being poised or calm under pressure is what you call like an it factor. Either you have it or you don't. And by nature, I do believe some people, just with how they were raised and how they are born and what's in them and their genetics and their DNA, are more calm by nature, right? If you look at 2 weeks ago when the Commanders went on, they won the game to play the Eagles next, everyone was talking about how many times you hear them saying, Jaden Daniels is so cool, calm, and collected. Cool, calm, collected. Cool, calm, collected, over and over and over again. And they asked him at the end of the game in the interview, what do you attribute your ability to stay so calm to? And he said, well, that's just kind of how I am. Now, so there are some people like that, right? That's just how I was raised. It's just how I am, right? There are some people like that. But in my opinion, it's not something either you have it or you don't. I believe it can be taught. It can be learned. It can be practiced, nurtured, and developed as a skill set that we can eventually turn into a character trait over time, which is why we're sitting right here sharing this information and doing this work. Shifting gears a little bit now, just a simple solution. Let's get right brass tacks, right to it. When you find yourself in a quote-unquote high-pressure situation, when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling under pressure, here's a simple solution. Breathe. Connect to your breath. Focus on your breath. And here's the pattern I suggest. In for 4, out for 8. In for 4, out for 8. Why don't we do one of those together? So it'll be in, 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because what happens physically when we get stressed or nervous? What's happening in our body? We get tight or tense. Our heart is racing. Maybe our hands are shaking. Right? What the reason we're doing in for 4, out for 8, what the elongated exhale does for us is it naturally lowers our heart rate and chills out and relaxes our central nervous system. So if our heart is racing, that makes us feel stressed or anxious or nervous. Simple tool and trick to put into place. Take long, slow exhales, in for 4, out for 8. When you take that long, slow exhale, what's happening is you're sending the signal to your brain that, hey, it's all good. I'm under control. I'm controlling this exhale. So now your brain gets that message, hey, it's all good. Nothing to be worried about here. And that's what lowers the heart rate and makes you feel more calm. So simple solution first, in for 4, out for 8. Next, what's happening mentally when we perceive things as stressful or high pressure? Most people, we have this tendency to overthink. We worry about the outcome not going our way. We doubt our ability to accomplish the task successfully. We might even become afraid of what could happen if you don't perform well. What's also cool about connecting to and focusing on our breath is that when you focus on your breath, if done properly, you can't also be focusing on the thoughts that are connected to and causing that physical response of the heart racing and the tension and the jitteriness, right? Why I always bring things back to meditation and mindfulness practices is because our mind can only fully focus on one thing at a time. So if we are in a quote unquote high pressure situation, a big game, a championship game, and we're allowing ourselves to think thoughts of worry, doubt, fear, which is overthinking it, simply by connecting to our breath and focusing on our breath, because we're fully focusing on our breath, we can't also be fully focusing or at all focusing on those thoughts that are causing the physical reaction that's making us feel stressed, anxious, and nervous. So simple tool when you're in the thick of it. If it's before a game, before a test, during a game, during a test, whatever, any of these situations you might perceive as high pressure or stressful, focus on and connect to your breath. In for 4, out for 8. And we're going to expand on that a bunch. Okay, so I'd like to shift gears a little now and discuss, in my opinion, what stress or pressure actually is. And before I get into this, I want to begin by saying, yes, there are real life situations and circumstances where more is on the line, right? Based on how you perform dictates what happens next. That's the reality. This upcoming weekend, or 2 weeks from now, we have the Super Bowl. It's the biggest football game of the year. It's the biggest sporting event of the year. Externally, the situation is that, yes, more people will be watching. It's the only 2 teams playing. Whoever wins is crowned the champion. It's a huge goal for so many people. The external circumstances, there's more of them, and they're bigger, right? That's real. That's true. What I'm about to share here is it all comes back to what's controlling what's in our control. Okay, so stress and pressure, in my opinion, is really just a mental construct, meaning that it only exists in our head. It's our perception of our reality, our circumstances, in our situations. It's the thoughts that we allow ourselves to think about the external environments and situations that we're experiencing that will determine how we feel. So if we allow ourselves to perceive a situation to be anything other than what it is, a game, a test, whatever that is, and we allow ourselves to think thoughts of worry, doubt, fear, stress, and anxiety, that's how we begin to feel. And we see it happen all the time. People crumble under pressure, right? They allow themselves to think too much about the outside circumstances that are not in their control surrounding the event. And this is where they say the moment gets too big for them. We allow the external circumstances to dictate how we feel. We let the external circumstances get to us and get us off center. So, how do we train ourselves to become a calm person, to remain calm in high pressure situations, to come from a relaxed, centered, confident place? I believe it first begins in our mind, in how we perceive the world around us and the thoughts we allow ourselves to think. Because we do not have control over outside or external circumstances and events, but we do have control over how we perceive them, how we relate to them, how we let them affect us, and how we respond to them. We simply want to control what's in our control, our thoughts and our emotions. So as we begin to dive in here, I want to open with a quote that I think ties all of this together really nicely. This is by William James. Our greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. So let's just come back to the request for the podcast by our man Zach. How do I remain calm in stressful situations? Well, our greatest weapon against stress or stressful situations is our ability to choose one thought over another. Now let's tie this in to meditation and self-talk, things that we have discussed in depth on previous episodes, things that I'm working very hard to share a lot about because it's directly connected to this. When we're meditating, we're literally practicing noticing how our mind is behaving, realizing the thoughts that we are thinking, and then choosing if we want to think those things and redirect our focus and attention either to another focus point or replacing those thoughts with thoughts we'd rather think instead. That's what self-talk is, why I'm so adamant about every moment of every day is an opportunity to practice noticing and realizing and taking control of that internal dialogue. It's your ability to choose one thought over another. And the more often you practice, the better you get at it. And when you find yourself in a high pressure, stressful situation, you've equipped yourself to be able to choose thoughts that allow you to be present, focused, confident, and relaxed, rather than worry, doubt, fear, stress, anxiety, pulling you out of the present, getting you all bent out of shape and affecting you negatively. So I'd like to dive into our perception of nervousness and anxiety, the emotion here. Question: have you felt excited before? Sure you have? Good. Well, have you felt nervous or stressed before? Sure you have? Good. Next, which would you rather feel? Would you rather feel nervous before you have to perform, or would you rather feel excited? Now, I can't hear your response, but my guess would be that you would much rather feel excited every time you have to perform. Here's the good news. Nervousness or anxiousness and excited are actually the exact same thing. What's happening physiologically within your body when you are nervous or anxious and when you're excited is actually exactly the same. The same thing is happening in your system. Your body is giving you energy, preparing you to take action. So I really think it's super important that we hone in on this. Our perception of the emotions that we're feeling and experiencing. Remember, our thoughts and our emotions are directly connected. And from my experience and what I experience with so many people mentoring them through these things is that they start to feel nervous or anxious, and that gets the thoughts racing, which makes them feel more nervous and anxious, and it's this vicious cycle, right? So we have to get on the same page here. When you start to feel nervous or anxious, here's the trick. Simply tell yourself, good. When you feel nervous or anxious, tell yourself, good. Why is it good? It's good because your system is firing. Your nervous system is giving you energy, preparing you to take action. Now we start to think more positive thoughts like that. Ooh, nice. My body's giving me my superpowers. It's getting me ready to work, go do things people have never done before. We start thinking those thoughts because our thoughts and our emotions are connected. What is it going to do to that energy? It's going to increase and enhance that energy positively on a high vibrating frequency that will make you feel more confident to take on whatever task that you're about to take on. So, next trick. When you start to feel nervous or anxious, simply tell yourself, good. This is my body's way of preparing me to take action. And if you want to take it one step further, you can just repeat in your head, I am excited, I am excited, I am excited. Or say it out loud. We're feeling this, whatever that is, the butterflies, our heart racing, tingling sensations, maybe your palms get sweaty, whatever. Ooh, good. I am excited, I am excited, I am excited. If that is how you command your self-talk and internal dialogue, I promise you that's exactly how you begin to feel. So first, breathe and connect to your breath. Second, tell yourself, good, I am excited, and that's how you begin to feel. So, if you feel anxious, nervous, and stressed in the moment, on the field, before a game, during a game, before a big test. Will a few breaths help? Will saying these things help? Yes, for sure. It's certainly better than nothing. But, taking it a step further, if we put tools and practices in place to work on these things, to become more of a calm person, to make it more of just who we are, how we perceive, relate to, and respond to, and how we let it affect us, any stressful or high pressure situation. If we work to become that person, we practice more consistently, then in the moment, when we need it, when we connect to our breath, in for 4, out for 8, in the moment, when we tell ourselves, good, I am excited, I am excited, I am excited. If you are practicing these things consistently before the events that are calling on your ability to perform, by practicing more frequently, we're front loading, we're doing the work ahead of time, we will receive and experience the benefits more readily because our minds, our bodies, our nervous systems are accustomed to the tool going to work. Same thing with any kind of fundamental. If you never practiced throwing the football and then all of a sudden you have to go play in the Super Bowl and you've never practiced throwing the ball and coach is telling you, hey, we're throwing the ball 35 times during the game today, because you haven't prepared, you are not going to feel equipped to do well. And then you will not play well. It's that simple. If you don't practice ahead of time, you won't receive the benefits in real time. So these now are tools to put into practice to work on becoming a calm person. The front loading, the practice, to receive the benefits more readily and effectively in the moment when it's needed. First is breath work. I love breath work. It's one of the most powerful tools that I partake in every single day. It quite literally changed and maybe saved my life at one point in my life. And breathwork is different than meditation in that it's more of a felt experience. The objective of breathwork, in part, is to get us out of our heads and into our bodies. With meditation, it's noticing how our mind's behaving. With breathwork, there's really one objective: get more and more oxygen in, relax more in every exhale. So practicing breath work. If you want to practice becoming a more calm, relaxed, centered, poised individual through your everyday life, I highly suggest we're practicing breath work. And here's what I would suggest you do. It's what I call the 3-part breath, where we're breathing through the mouth the entire time. Really, the only objective is to get as much oxygen in it as you can. It's 3 parts. 2 inhales, 1 exhale, breathing through the mouth the entire time. And on your first inhale, you want to push the belly down and out like you're making a pregnant belly. That's doing a lot of things for us. It's massaging our internal organs. It's creating space. It's flooding oxygen into our system, into our gut. First inhale, deep into the belly. Second inhale, deep into the chest, expanding your chest, opening your chest, heart, and lungs. We're infusing our system with as much oxygen as possible. Do 7 of those. Bare minimum, what I do every single day is 3 rounds of 7. So it's belly, chest, relax. Take as much oxygen as you can in on every inhale. And relax and soften as much as you can on every exhale. 3 rounds of 7. Now, something else that I like to do that I have a perspective on is holding the breath at the top and then squeezing from the base of the spine and the abdomen. That's pushing and forcing oxygen and energy up our spine through our nervous system into our brains, which is very beneficial for a lot of reasons. But why I'm sharing it now in particular is that when we're holding and squeezing at the top, what I always suggest is that you're holding and squeezing. So now you're holding your breath, right? Maybe it's 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever it is. Once that voice in your head starts saying, okay, breathe out, I need to breathe, I need to breathe, I need to breathe, choose to remain calm and hold your breath just a little bit longer. What we're doing by holding our breath at the top is creating a stressful environment. It's controlled stress. It's controlled chaos. Everything in your mind and your body is telling you, okay, breathe, 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 breathe. But in that moment, you're choosing to remain calm, stay centered, and hold your breath just a little bit longer. By creating a little bit of stress and choosing to remain calm, what are we practicing doing? We're practicing remaining calm in a stressful situation, right? Our day-to-day lives, for most of us, are probably pretty comfortable. And I've talked about this in the past, a few different episodes, about doing hard things, creating discomfort in our everyday lives so that we have to push through it. We have to persevere through it. A lot of us, we don't have very quote-unquote stressful lives. We have everything we need. We're comfortable. We're provided for. So we have to find these ways to create stress in the moment to choose to remain calm and centered and take action how we want. That's what holding our breath at the top is. So I would suggest putting breath work into place. If you've never done it before, 3 rounds of 7. Belly, chest, relax is 1. That's 1. That's 2. Do 7 of those. And on the 7th inhale, hold and squeeze at the top. Hold and squeeze. Hold and squeeze for as long as you can. And once you think you can't any longer, hold it for just a split second longer. Create that internal stress and choose to remain calm anyway. Next, meditation. You guessed it. The same practices we've been talking about the whole time. Meditation. Why? When we meditate, we're practicing redirecting our focus and attention to our breath, helping us to be more present, more here now. No past, no future. And we're practicing and strengthening our ability to choose one thought over another. When you realize that your mind is becoming active and you choose to redirect your focus back to your breath, you're choosing not to think at all. You're choosing one thought over another. So when we sit down to meditate and we practice noticing how our mind's behaving, notice, come back, notice, come back, notice, come back, you're strengthening your ability to choose one thought over another in your everyday life, especially for when you're being called on to perform a high stakes, high pressure, stressful situation. You can quickly notice that you start thinking thoughts aligned with worry, doubt, fear. You simply notice them, detach from them, redirect your focus back to your breath. What doesn't exist anymore? The stress, the pressure, the high stakes. As I said earlier, it's all a mental construct. By training our ability to notice how our mind is behaving and then choosing where we place our focus instead, all that exists is right here, right now. This tattoo I got on my wrist, I've been meaning to show it. It says here now. It's on a weird angle. Here now. Because nothing else exists. It's never not right now. Worry, doubt, fear, stress, anxiety, all these things can only exist in the past and in the future. So the more we train ourselves to be present, notice when we are having thoughts that are pulling us out of the present. Notice that when we're experiencing emotions that are getting us off center, and we can refocus and recenter, all there is whatever's happening. Albeit it might be the Super Bowl, but when it comes down to it, all we got is one breath at a time, one rep at a time. You're on a field, wearing the cleats you wear every day at practice. You're wearing your uniform. You're with the team that you're with every single day that you've been practicing with for years and years. And it's this snap. It's all that exists. That's all that actually exists. When we crumble under pressure, we're allowing ourselves to think about all of the external circumstances that are not in our control, letting go of what is in our control, and now we look like we've never played the game before, simply because of what we allowed ourselves to think. And that's how meditation is directly tied into remaining calm under pressure or stressful situations. It's strengthening your ability to choose one thought over another. So do your breath work to relax your nervous system, create stress, and remain calm in a stressful situation. Practice meditation to strengthen your ability to choose one thought over another, so you notice when you're having thoughts that are pulling you out of the present, making you stressed, anxious, nervous. Redirecting your focus back to your breath and choosing to remain calm and clear-minded instead. Another simple practice that I've shared that directly relates to what we're doing now is cold showers, or even better, cold plunges, ice baths. What the cold does is it creates stress for our bodies, or the opposite, heat, the sauna, right? We're putting ourselves in a controlled, stressful environment, and we're choosing to remain calm within it. Guess how I practice when I'm in a cold bath, when I'm in the sauna? Guess what I'm doing when I'm in there? I'm focusing on my breath. Because when I focus on my breath, I quiet my mind. When I quiet my mind, I'm in complete control. I get to decide how I want to think, feel, and behave. And for a lot of people, I get a kick out of it. They jump into cold water and say, oh my God, I can't do this. Oh my God, it's freezing. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Is that helping? Is that remaining calm and poised and under control in this stressful environment? No, it's the opposite. It's freaking out because they're out of control. They're not in control of what they are thinking. And they're letting the external, quote unquote, stressful situation or environment dictate how they think. And that is somebody who crumbles under pressure. So by doing cold plunges, cold showers, jumping in the sauna, focusing on your breath, setting a timer, and just choosing to focus on your breath until the timer goes off, you're practicing becoming a calm person, especially in stressful situations. Last little tool or tip, practice release, noticing when you're holding on to tension in your body. And practice relaxing. It's how, when we do our live stream mindfulness work every week with our Connect to QB online program, it's how we begin most mindfulness practices with a body scan. We close our eyes, we focus on our breath, and we're scanning down our body from the tip of our head all the way down. And all I'm guiding them to do is find or notice somewhere in their body where they're holding on to tension. And this is usually most present in our jaws. We clench our jaws, kind of scrunching our shoulders, right? This is where most of us hold tension. In our jaws, upper neck, shoulders. We hold on to this tension. A lot of times you probably don't even realize you're doing it. So simply set the intention every day to notice when you're holding on to tension. Oh, shoot, isn't that interesting? My jaw is clenched. Choose to breathe, connect to your breath, and choose to soften and relax that muscle. When we say relax, we literally mean release the tension. If we want to be a more calm and relaxed person in a stressful, hectic, chaotic environment, we just have to practice relaxing. So simply put, all throughout the day, notice when you're clenching your jaw. Notice when you're scrunching your shoulders. Notice when you're clenching your fists. Whatever it is that you do as a human being, a normal human being tendency, holding on to tension, notice it, breathe, release the tension, and relax. And the more consistently you practice that, the more relaxed by nature you will become. And if you are a more calm and relaxed individual, when you encounter a high pressure or stressful situation, you're coming from a more calm centered place so that you can remain more calm and centered in that moment. Now, a couple things I want to touch on with like actual physical quarterback play, right? When we're under like actual pressure, the line, the people are coming at us trying to tackle us, right? There's some simple things that we talk a lot about in our training, but I think it's helpful and relevant to any quarterbacks listening, a large population of the audience, but a lot of it's directly connected to any sport or any field. So quarterback play in particular, when we are under pressure, is a rule I live by, a college coach shared with me, and it remains true to this day, that I share with everyone all the time. If you get the ball out on time, they can't get to you. You could have a free edge rusher coming off the edge. Nobody's touching him or blocking him. You have enough time to take a 3-step drop with a hitch, release the ball on time. Yeah, you might get cracked as you're throwing it or right after you've thrown it, but you have enough time to get the ball out on time. So trust the timing in your feet. Get the ball out on time, they can't get to you. Trust and believe in that. Next is anticipating throwing in rhythm and on time. Even in your training, right? When we train, we do a lot of movement work, off platform, throw on the run, escape in the pocket, making people miss. We do a lot of that because it happens a lot in football. And is an interesting tendency I noticed, especially in middle school and younger JV level quarterbacks, is the first part of the drill, there's a drop. 3-step drop, 5-step drop, slide step, back pedal, play action, whatever it is, whatever the drop is for the pass play. They know they're about to do some kind of movement or escape. And I notice it a lot, is the drop gets sloppy. Well, if we're practicing anticipating pressure, we just abort the drop just to react to the pressure, that is no way to play. You're anticipating being under pressure. Even if the D-line is doing a great job and they've been getting to you and they're hitting you, every single play, anticipate throwing in rhythm and on time, then react to pressure. Anticipate throwing in rhythm and on time, then react to pressure. A few years back when Sam Darnold was with the Jets, there was the phrase they were saying, he's seeing ghosts, meaning he was moving like he was under pressure when there was a nice clean pocket and nobody was there. That's someone who's feeling the pressure that doesn't actually exist because of what's going on in his head. It's affecting how he's playing. He's creating false pressure. So every single play, no matter what has happened on the plays before, anticipate throwing in rhythm and on time, then react to pressure. What I was saying about the training with the sloppy drops, when you're training, even if you know it's going to be an escape drill, if you know it's going to be a pocket movement drill, take a clean drop first, anticipating throwing in rhythm and on time. Get to your base as if you were going to hitch, set, and throw it to number one. Land in your base, one's not there, now we react to the pressure. So these are just little things we can do in our training environments, our mindset and our intention, our approach to practice playing when we're under pressure. Okay, next, do your job, one play at a time. We start to get later into games, closer games, right? Bigger games, whatever. What we see a lot is the quarterbacks, we try to do too much. We play outside of ourselves. We let the moment get to us, and we start making decisions we wouldn't normally think. We start trying to throw throws we wouldn't normally throw. Keep it simple. Do your job one play at a time, because that's all that exists. One breath at a time, one rep at a time. There's no need to be a hero or to do too much or more than is being asked of you. Bring it back to the basics of how we talk about pass calls and progressions. Something we say to our quarterbacks all the time that I got directly from Tom Brady. If number one is open, throw it 100% of the time. It's that simple. If number one in the progression or number one in the play call or the reads is open, throw it 100% of the time. It's the easiest way the game operates. Number one's open, hit him on time. The only reason we'd ever go to number two is because number one's not open. If number one's not open and we go to two and he's open, we throw it. Then the only reason we'd ever go to number three is because one wasn't open first, then two wasn't open. This is your job. Get your feet set on time. Make straight line accurate throws to the guy who's open. Don't make the game bigger than it is. It is exactly what it is. It's the pass play you've run 2,800 times that you love, that you've done in 7-on-7s, you've done in practice, you've done all season long. It's the same exact play. If number one is open, throw it. If not, go to number two. If he's open, throw it. If not, go to number three. Keep it simple. Do your job. So I'd like to wrap up just by reminding us all, that if we want to stay calm, poised, centered, relaxed, and confident in high pressure or high stress situations. And a reminder, I'm doing the quote unquote high pressure and high stress because it's all relative. It's a mental construct. If you are calling something high pressure, now it's high pressure. If you're just saying it's the game I get to play today, that's what it is. That's where the self-talk and internal dialogue comes in. So if we want to be more present, focused, confident, relaxed, fully immersed in the task at hand, whatever the task is, no matter what the external circumstances, no matter what anyone else is saying, what mom and dad are saying, are you stressed about today's game? No matter what is happening externally, if you want to be a more cool, calm, and connected individual, to enhance your ability to remain calm amidst chaos, connect to your breath. Choose one thought over another. If you're feeling nervous or anxious, tell yourself, good, I am excited. Do the work ahead of time. Front load. Sit down every day, 3 rounds of 7 breath work. Hold and squeeze at the top. Create some stress to remain calm within. Meditate. Practice your ability to strengthen your ability to choose one thought over another. Put yourself in controlled, stressful environments. I'm sure there's plenty more. These are just ones that I found best. Cold plunge, cold shower, sauna, steam room. Put yourself in a high-stress situation that's physically stressful on the body. Focus on your breath and choose to remain calm. Notice when it's like, oh my God, it's so hot, I don't want to do this anymore. Notice it. Let it pass by like a cloud in the sky. Focus on your breath. Every time you do that, you're strengthening your ability to choose one thought over another. And then in terms of the physical play, do your job. This is the game that you play. Trust your training. Breathe, relax, let loose, and have fun. That's the best way to combat a high-stakes, high-pressure, stressful situation, is be here now. Control what's in your control. One breath at a time, one rep at a time. Let loose. That's when you're going to perform your best. Relax, let loose, and do your job the way you always do. Simply put, don't make it bigger than it is. It is what it is. Allow it to be that. Breathe, relax, let loose, have fun, and do your job. One breath at a time, one play at a time. As always, guys, thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope you're finding the value and benefit in the content. If you are, please engage with the content. YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, anywhere you're seeing it. Please give it a like. Quick comment goes a very long way. If there's someone in particular you think would benefit from hearing these podcasts, please send it to them, share it with them. As always, I know the only objective of this project is to make a massive positive impact on the world around us, and I know I can't do that alone. So please like, share, subscribe, all the things to help juice the algo and keep spreading the good word. You're just as much a part of this as I am. So thank you guys for taking the time to listen. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for sharing. As always, if there's anything you ever want to discuss, hit me up, text, DM. I'm happy to create what you want to hear. Alrighty, please feel free to reach out. Peace and love, everybody. Be kind to one another. We'll catch you next week.